What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Teofimo Lopez Jr. and Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. A few weeks ago, Teofimo Lopez advised, commented, suggested Deontay Wilder to stop acting like a bitch. If you guys can remember that. And I was like, ouch. What? You know, and he was asked about Wilder again recently. And he doubled down on what he said. He said, yes, Deontay Wilder's acting like a bitch. And I will say it in his face that he's acting like a bitch. Wow. You know, one thing about boxers, one thing about Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez has got himself in his position, not just from talent and all that, but one thing that people should realize about Teofimo Lopez is the fact that the man markets himself. The man has his own voice. You know, and with someone that's confident like Teofimo Lopez, you know, I think the trash talk got to a lot of people, including Lomachenko to some degree, because he had Lomachenko saying, I can't wait to punish him, this, that, and the other, and didn't start fighting until the 5th round of that fight with Teofimo Lopez. Now, concerning other fighters, Teofimo Lopez speaks his mind. You know, and one thing I noticed about what he said, again, he's not the only person that said it. But the funny thing about it is, these channels are so butthurt because Teofimo Lopez said what he said about Deontay Wilder. Well, this is the question you ask yourself. Teofimo Lopez is an outspoken person. So the question you ask yourself is that the only person he's called a bitch before? No, absolutely not. That's not the only person. The only like, he's called Devin Haney a bitch. He's called Gervonta Tank Davis a bitch. He's did that a bunch of times. Nobody said anything about that. You know, it is crazy like that these fans or whatever they are, fanatics, are so sensitive about Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he called him a bitch because the way that he felt he was acting. Okay, so some of the things that he said and the complaints and the excuses, they are fucking a lot of stuff. You know, like, there's like files. You know, remember the Wilder files? Yeah, there's files of Deontay and the problems are the issues that he had with Tyson Fury. But that's the one time that this is the only time or the only fight which he loses that he has all this shit to talk about. Oh yeah, by the way, it was the first fight too. Well, you didn't even talk about it the first fight, so it's really not even relevant. You know what I'm saying? You're just bringing things up and adding on to something to make your excuses look credible. And the only people that's buying that shit are the fanatics, right? So other people outside that realm will look at that and say, you know what? You lost, you're being a bitch. You know what I mean? That's not I wouldn't call the man that, not necessarily, but the thing is, I can understand why people are saying that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like a unfiltered response to something you hear when someone loses. So if you hear someone lose and all you hear is like, oh, it was this, it was that, because of this, that, and this, and that, and that, you're like, dude, stop acting like a bitch. Man up. You know, build yourself back up, fight again. You know, get the next fight if that's what you really want. You know, but I don't understand why people are now so surprised or shocked that Teofimo Lopez called him a bitch. Not only he said, I'd tell it in his face, that like, so yeah, he's doubling down on what he believes. And Wilder in this situation, I feel he should have just kept quiet, like everybody knows. you know, and got the fight, you know. So there wouldn't have been any bad blood, so to speak, until you got the fight locked in. Then you could talk all the shit you wanted while the press conference and building that. Then he could have thrown that in there. But at least he would have had the fight to fall back on, you know. But Teofimo Lopez, you know, he's adamant on that. And, you know, it's just a thing now of when that happens, what will take place. Because, see, Wilder is a guy, he's tall, he was intimidating to a lot of people. And I remember the Billy Joe Saunders incident. You guys remember that a couple years ago when Billy Joe, you know, he's good friends with Tyson Fury. And they had a big ruckus, like in a lobby, I believe, because Deontay asked him, like, what did you say about me? Did you say something about me, this, that, and the other, whatever it was? And I guess he thought Billy Joe Saunders was gonna, you know, like, no, I didn't say it or whatever. You know, Billy Joe's like, yeah, I did. And then all this shit was thrown all over the place and it caused a big racket, you know. And that could happen the same way. You know, think about Lopez Sr., right? If his son is with his father, much shit as he goes through and he talks, it's gonna be a bad situation. But, you know, these are words, these are comments, and these are promises by Teofimo Lopez, you know, so it won't be the first time that you do have a lot of ruckus, you know, and an uproar going on and a fight breaks out because of someone that has an opinion. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Teofimo Lopez doubling down on saying that he will call Deontay Wilder a bitch in his face. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.